There's a message inside my page. So it's been told. What? This is so true. What? Something social and social. be my baby.
sister, brothers, mothers and fathers to bring up literacy. There are some people who just idle sitting around. You gotta get up, stand up, people, and give a helping hand. So what's your contribution to a revolution? What's your contribution to a revolution?
Yes, indeed. What's your contribution?
What's your contribution to a revolution? You, Mr. Tourist, who comes to a little island, say you also got a mission.
Yeah, we'll not solely hear that one.
When you come here, you see the stark reality.
Good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube. What's the matter with you all tonight, yeah? Hit the like button. Let your friends know Talking Points is on. We did announce that we will be having Talking Points tonight. Like some people go on Lime tonight, boy, yeah. But I choose the wrong night to go on Lime, I can tell you that. Because we're going to get into it in a short while, a limited amount of time, and we have a lot of clips to play. We have a lot of things to say. So once again, special good night to all of you joining us on the YouTube. The Facebook, once again, due to no fault of our own, Facebook has its own problem. It is not connecting to our software. No matter what we do, we've updated our software, and from since then, it's not been able, Facebook, on the Facebook end, has a problem. So we do apologize to the listeners, the viewers who usually join us via Facebook. We're hoping that at least over the weekend, Facebook resolves the problem. Most likely, sometimes they do that for spite. They want you to just operate with them alone and not through a third-party software. But Tati, no money to Lime? Come on, folks, hit the like button. Hit the like button. For the number of you that's there, the like button is supposed to be way higher than that by now, yeah? What is your contribution to the revolution? Are you one of those who are speaking the things as they are? You're calling programs. If you can't call programs, you're passing the information on to others. You're telling each person that you meet about the talking points, not the program, you know, what we talk about on this. Yeah, you could tell them about the program too, huh? What is your contribution to the revolution, huh? Told you already, all those who want to play like this, Maurice, and a bunch of paff, you know, wannabe revolutionaries. Really don't know how some people could freed them. Jesus, I don't know how they could freed them, not. Set up paff. Yes, indeed. What is your contribution to the revolution? You know, yeah, let me tell you one more revo tune and we start our discussion. No, one more and we start saying we think, you know, yeah, we ain't going too far down the road.
And oppression to liberation, education and production. Now that we're free, we have to fight illiteracy. We need education to increase our production.
All right, and I've just opened the phone lines. You will not say, hear that one.
Comrade Bishop said for 1980, education and production. Throw away the old mentality, education.
Yeah, let us educate some folks around here, yeah?
And production. We are hardworking people, as everyone knows.
We've got to talk about that closure issue. It's going to take some time on that one tonight.
So let us produce.
And I have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
The lovely Camille Teresa Scott.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Thank you. And good night to the Grenadian people, woman of God. Well, they are just lie down, not 100%, but thank God for the breath of life.
Camille,
you know?
I see you have, have two avocado in a picture today. You're bound to do me that, girl?
Well, they are called to talk about the teaching me things, Sheldon. I want the people to know. Listen to me, Grenadians. I'm not a greedy person. I'm really confused in my yard and my breadfruit. And they're waiting when I go and pick it. That's all what I have to give me something when I pick to sell, to pay me water bill. I don't have no husband. My children is married man and married women. I cannot depend on them. That is all I have. And I'm asking you all, please, in the Busheju area, don't come and pick me thing when I'm in the. If you want a breadfruit, Miss Kami, give me a breadfruit. Miss Kami, I see you up here, they give me one. They picking me coconut till they leaving one on the ground. I have it in the veranda.
No,
you understand? So I'm begging. Yes, they're very spiteful. And the thing about it, if I pay at a spare guy, Collins, he living all in Vincent to come and help me. And they picking me coconut and I that plant that coconut, me. And when I ever pick breadfruit and I go in town to make $1, I will give. I just give away. I'm begging all you, please. Do not come and pick me thing on 90. That is all I have to pay me water bill. When I sell.
Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We are going to provide you with some cameras.
Yeah. I have a camera, you know.
No, we're going to
but I can't get.
We're going to provide you with a certain type that don't even need to connect to the electricity. It works with solar.
Because my cousin is sent Darlington Bush. I give him my money to buy one for me and he have it. All who asked to come and put it up, they don't come in. But they come in and they're stressing me out. That is all I have, Shell, and I'm begging all you, please. Please. Ask. Ask. So I get the guy pick. And that too my fault. So I picked them up this morning. Yeah. And me had got for the people that by me way the house born.
Yeah,
and them
things. Fire in that area. And
you know, none of the government people didn't come. And the same Dr. Mitchell alone, them people see Dr. Mitchell alone, they see. and excuse me. They say they don't do nothing. This morning, first time I go up with the bus, where they build them house. Up there was only Big Stone and Bushyam. And the amount of people that live in there, and Grenadians, all you have to ask God to forgive all you. Go, this place, Kit Mitchellville, and all these people up there was going right up and pick them up. Or you say you don't do nothing in Grenada. That does hurt me and bother me. That does hurt me. Eh? That does hurt me. The and them don't do nothing for you. But the amount of people, Spanish, all people they come out, they in that big place of the where the Chinese build. Eh? Grenadians all that was got to forgive all you. All you go see a lot of trouble with that thing, all you saying kid do nothing. Nothing all you say you do, you know. Oh God. Anyhow, everybody have a blessed weekend and let's pray for our country. Sheldon, we go chat when we not on it.
Yes.
We go sit to chat.
Indeed, my
And
dear.
remind the guy to come and check the phone for me, please.
Yes,
Okay?
I spoke to him just before you sent
Patty,
the
good
message.
night. Patricia, Arthur Campbell, and Matthew, good night. Miss Yolan Bain, good night. Dr. Mitchell, good night. And all the Holy Fort, Miss the leader and emotion, make it Miss Pierre. Good night to everybody. I lie down. I can't stress out today because I didn't talk since morning. Nothing going on for us. Nothing going
And you know
going on for us in Grenada.
When you say that some people want to attack, but we're coming to that. I'll deal with all of
I
that.
don't fear them.
Yeah.
I don't fear them. I don't fear them.
I'm going a little
I would
past,
like.
I'm going a little past 10
I
o'clock
would
tonight,
like
huh?
Deacon Mitchell as the Prime Minister. No disrespect. Pass on Melville Street, and I will face him. Pass. All you must pass and ask the people what is going on. The vendors. Pass and ask them how is business. Have a good night, Sheldon. And I bless you, Ken Grenada.
Same
Bye
to you
bye.
as well. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed, folks. Yes, you speak.
Long live free Grenada.
Camille Teresa Scott. Eh? Yes, indeed. You know what? Let me create some trouble and then I'll come back to the phone lines. Yeah, let me create some trouble first. Folks, during the 2022 election, you had people making statements like, you had people making all kind of statements. Let me see if I could find a statement here by a particular individual. Or you might recognize the individual. They look a bit different now, eh? Yeah, boy, nice life, nice life. They look a bit different now. But all you might recognize the individual. So here the statement.
We cannot continue to accept concrete roads and concrete drains as our national development agenda. We can't eat concrete. We can't study with concrete. What we need to do is walk on concrete. But for us to walk, we need a healthy nation.
Yeah, that's what you're saying about concrete. Let me hear him again. Let me hear him again.
We cannot continue to accept concrete roads and concrete drains as our national development agenda. We can't eat concrete. We can't study with concrete. What we need to do is walk on concrete. But for us to walk, we need a healthy nation.
All right, one more time.
We cannot continue to accept concrete roads and concrete drains as our national development agenda. We can't eat concrete. We can't study with concrete. What we need to do is walk on concrete. But for us to walk, we need a healthy nation.
So we cannot accept concrete as national development. That is what he said, not I say it. That is what Mr. Ron Redhead, at that time he was seeking to become the Member of Parliament for St. George Northeast. And one final time so that they can't say we misquote them.
We cannot continue to accept concrete roads and concrete drains as our national development agenda. We can't eat concrete. We can't study with concrete. What we need to do is walk on concrete. But for us to walk, we need a healthy nation.
All right, yes, so we can't eat concrete, yeah. You can't eat concrete and thing. You can't study concrete. Okay, let's just make a local search here. Yeah, let me make a local search over here. Let me go out now, bringing it over here. Let me search. That is who profile? Ron Redhead. Yeah, he's Honorable Ron Redhead now. So he is now the Member of Parliament for St. George Northeast. He has 12,000 followers. Let me go in the photo gallery and where's that? Concrete? I thought he said we can't take concrete as development. No, let me see. No, that looks as concrete to me. There's a drain. But the man said we can't take drain and think concrete drain as development. That look as another drain, concrete. Look at house, yeah. Another house with concrete. Yeah, a little construction going on there. Nice. Things going good. Nice. More, yeah. That look as a drain again. That drain make out a... No, that drain look like he make out a concrete. Yeah. No, not a picture of the drain, no. Concrete drain. Wait, no, that can't be concrete. Because the man said, no, that cannot be concrete. That had to be somebody else's profile. Let me check. No, that look as the same guy. I mean, you look a little fatter and think, no, yeah. I put on a bit of size and think, no, look at the same guy. No, that can't be the case. No. We can't be talking about concrete. No, wait, no, that look as, but it's not concrete. Yeah, but I concrete. I don't have on the right profile. Let me double check again. Yeah, no, that's run. That run profile. Yeah, is he? Yeah, you understand? Nice. Hey, we'll come to this in a little while. Yeah, but wait. That look as concrete again. No. Nah, man. Nah. Somebody hack the man profile. That can't be. Nah. Let me open that phone there because I see a set of people calling and things. Let me open my phone line. No, that can't be the same man. No, that can't be he. Nah, man, that can't be he. No, that could never be the man. Nice, yeah. No, I'm going through. Hey. Nah, because all you watch, yeah. I show you all what I'm going through. That look like Ron Redhead talking about going and do a piece of road, retaining wall. Well, maybe the walls and them ain't doing with concrete. So walls and different thing, yeah. Who was calling? All you could call now. Yeah, road as he doing there. Let me see. Right, he doing some visit and thing there. Right, and thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, gravel and concrete. He share a thing from gravel and concrete there. Gravel and concrete, eh? Yeah, he share a thing from them there. Nice. So I don't want to believe. No, can't be the same person. No, had to be somebody else. It cannot be the same person that we were just thinking about that showing all of these things. No, I think we had the wrong profile, man. Somebody hack him. Yeah, we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Mr. Scott, sir.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hi, good. How is everyone doing?
I'm good, man.
Great. Hold your head up high, hold strong, hold steadfast. Prayer changes things. Let me ask a question. Upon your statement, isn't invert drains and culvert drains made out of concrete?
Maybe these are made out of plastic or something. I'm not sure. But it can't
Is
be.
it
I mean, the man say it cannot take concrete as national development. But I mean,
what's the alternative to build homes?
I don't know, but he said that is not development, so we're not supposed to be counting that towards development.
Interesting. Okay, I got a carrier call for Grenadians in the diaspora and home. One your families and them out here that is in situation. We know what's going on in America right now with migrants. We have you know who it is, a good friend of yours and a relative of mine. Grenadians are now calling ICE on Grenadians.
Weird. You know that has been happening since February.
Yeah, but bro, they step up. They step it up now because you see they're giving reward. They're getting money for it now.
Oh, you're getting paid. Bounty.
Yeah, some of them getting paid. They're getting paid now. There's a number, if you call that number and they successfully grab that person, you get paid. All right, by the skin of his teeth, he put certain things in place, you know, and that is what saved him. He's home today. Came home last night. They literally listen. They told, and here what the complaint was. They know in America it's legal, and he married, and the wife gave him a Jeep, and he driving his Jeep all over. And I did warn him about that. He has gone hang out there. I warned him on a couple of occasions, bro. Stop hanging out there. stop rhyming in that environment. So they actually made the phone call. They give them the vehicle, the plate number, where you live, what time you average time he does leave out for work. So he went out to leaving out to go to work. You know, so he started his own electrical company, leaving out to go to work early in the morning, go and put out the garbage. And as he dropped the garbage in the bin, they grab him.
So here now, wait, you kind of give me an idea there because some people like to call my name in New York and thing and they in street. I actually have their address. So you're telling me I could make some money right now because I have the addresses of several of them, and they ain't even holding a green card.
With $5,000 a hit, you know.
Boss, yeah, what's going on now? Some of these people, wait, it's this bad, eh? Some of these people do not go in the kitchen, you know. You know why they don't go in the kitchen? Because they're afraid ice in the afraid they have ice in the fridge. They ain't taking chance. They ain't taking chance of that ice in the kitchen. They ain't going there. So some of them, I could make some money then, because at least from what you're telling me there, I know 5 of them at least that every time somebody posts something on Facebook, they under it running them out. They always are the most to say, but they cannot legally leave the United States, and if they see ICE coming, they have to run. So I wonder if it's available to people outside of the States. I could report and get the money because a bad like that
doesn't matter who you are. Once you call and you give you what they do, they give you a ID number. You already have to give your name on it. They give you an ID number, and if the report turns out that they into an arrest and the person is, well, they don't care if they're legal or not, because they're locking up citizens. They're going with Canadians and they don't care. So once they make the arrest, that $5,000 is yours.
So send the number and thing. I have some. You mean I have a 25 grand US just sitting there, boy? Come on, man. And they like to call my name.
It is really hard. It is just wrong. And I want to tell you, I suspect the people who made that call, they themselves
illegal as well.
Yeah, because a bunch of them that is lying in that place, and a great percentage of them don't have any legal means standing foot in this country, where they go and drink their rum and they carry on.
I'll say this though. I think it's very unfortunate that Grenadians would do that to fellow Grenadians. I might understand if in fact I still can't understand another Caribbean person doing that to a Caribbean person.
Bro, you know how many times they called FCC on my station? You know how many times they report me to FCC? Bro, a Trinidadian had me sit down in his house one Saturday morning after I finished market time. Tell me, I saw you done on your program, check me. And he lived right in the vicinity, and I walked over there. And he said, I'm making a phone call, hush your mouth, don't say a word, listen. And he made the call, he put the phone on speaker, and he said, bro, you had a conversation with me last night and you want to know who owned the station. And the guy said, yeah man, because your program will be running on that station. And he said, listen, somebody reached out to me, but I can't tell you specifically who's the owner of the station. He said, what do you need? He said, man, it don't matter now, because we record them and all, and we send that information to FCC already with all the information. And I sit there and go, yo, watch me. My belly dropped, Sheldon. Because this is a man I helped set up his studio. The amount of things I helped this man, them guys, and them did. When they had DJs, guys home, they want to play, I give them software how to get the DJ to remotely play on the station and to bring. Man, I tell you that thing, hurt me so. You hurt me to my core. You hurt me to my core. But FCC did come. I was on the air live on the radio, and they called from the location of the transmitter. The people up there with the transmitters, they called me, and I spoke to the gentleman, and I said to him, that happened the Thursday before Labor Day. My filter went bad. I was driving, and I heard the feedback in the radio, and I head straight there, took the filter out, and run the system straight. And I told them, I said, last Thursday, my filter went bad. On Friday morning, I sent it out to the company. But because of the Labor Day weekend, and they came the Thursday after Labor Day, I said, because of the holiday and stuff, it will take me till next week to get it back. And he said to me, listen to me. Question I want to know. What programming you have on the station? Because my transmitter is on a school. Because in New York, to do certain type of radio like what we do, you had to be either a non-profit property, a church, or a school.
Community radio, basically, yeah.
Right, because we do community radio.
Yeah, that's the frequency for community radio.
My transmitter is on a school. My kids went to that school. It's a private school. They own the church. The church owns the school, I mean. And I told them, I said, the school has a program where where we have kids come on and do the little evening program. We have, the church has a gospel segment in the mornings and in the afternoons. And we tell them the different things that the church, the school, and the community, different groups in the community has on our station. And the guy said, all right, I'll advise you two things. Lower your wattage or shut this station, shut down your frequency until you get back your filter. And I said to him, you know what? Let me just reach out to our engineer, and he will take it from there. And I just log in into the transmitter and I shut it off. That was it. All right. After they leave, an hour later, I brought it back up online. All right. And with the telly, I said all of that to say this. It is a person who I have helped immensely to get this station online. To get this studio, I went over there for days and wired the studio and do all and didn't chat. So I've done it. Is he any friend? He joined up with some Trinidadians, and it's them that did that too. So it's not just, man. Dude.
Wait. Yeah,
anyway, my friend.
Go away.
But
but
I go to call Moses. Moses supposed to bring up some rivers.
All I'll say, the final thing I'll say is, your boy, I might need a little change in the near future. So link me up, because I have some addresses and some names. And at some of the addresses, there are multiple names.
Hey.
Yeah. Including, I know for a fact people with fake marriage, all kind of things. So link up your boy.
We got to split that bounty, okay? You see what I know? You got to start a business.
Boy, I'm telling you, boy, I had 25 grand sit down there just so US, man. Watch. Link your boy. My only problem is they might come back Grenada and want to vote, and next thing, that's the vote that makes the difference. So
make the difference, right? Yeah, without joke, I said, man, they're getting nasty out here with this, man. I sat down with a gentleman and his wife last night. He called me. I had to go pick them up. Because I had him, I don't know, out of state somewhere, and I had to go to Manhattan and pick them up from the train station. And on the way back to bringing them home, you were telling me everything, and he keep telling me, bro, I should have listened to you. I say, bro, for years, I keep telling you, stay away from these places. I keep telling you,
Wait, we gotta cut it there. We go, all right, bless up. Yes, that's my good friend Spice Rap. But next thing I'll go and report them people, and then people come back and vote, and that's the vote that make the difference. Now, let's stay there, man. After the election, the better hope is not Trump. They still. Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah. So I know we are just talking about concrete. Yeah. So I don't know if them people and them, because they was talking about concrete and them kind of thing. But folks, that issue aside for now. There are several issues I want to raise, and it will take me past the 10 o'clock hour. I'm telling you all now, due to the length of some of what I have to play and what I have to go through, it definitely will take me past the 10 o'clock hour. So I beg your indulgence, and I'm just going to say I beg that you all hold on the phone calls. I'm going to have to take this one quick because I want to get into some videos there, so make it a 1 minute. Go right ahead. Hello?
Hey, Brother Sheldon, good night.
Good night. Yeah, I'm saying I want to get into some videos and so on, so make it a 1 minute for me. You could call back after.
Yeah. Okay, I'll call back.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me mute that channel because I do not want to. I want to get into some discussions here, and we're going to take the calls when I'm done with that. Nice. Yeah, we're going to take the calls when I'm done with that, because I really want to get into some of these issues here. Now, the situation for the people of Closure continues to be a very serious one. I think some folks are taking it just as okay, well, they have the alternative, they could pass through St. Andrew and so on. And it's not simply that. The majority of what they do, the majority of their business connections and even personal relationships, everything, it's down in Guave itself. Yeah? And they now have the problem of coming from Cloget to get to Guave. Up to today, the latest video I saw, and this one I saw on a Facebook page, and I'm forgetting the Facebook page I saw it on because, I like to give credit where credit is due. I didn't ask permission, but I saw it on a Facebook page, and I grabbed the video because it shows the present situation of that site. And as it is right now, this is what the folks up there are going through. This is the state of the site, the job site itself. We know that there was some rain today, so I don't know if it has deteriorated even further. But this was the state. I heard there was a situation where one of the excavators flipped yesterday, I believe. There was a situation that one of the excavators flipped and so on. So this is the situation there. And the situation with the house, basically anyone that sees the house that is there, you can basically tell that that is it for that house. That house is gone. Yeah? Government definitely will have to find a property and rebuild the home for the individual, but the house, as it is, that's it for it. Yeah? It's undermined, and you see how the road continues to collapse. Remember, this wasn't that state on Monday. It wasn't this state on Monday. It continues to get worse, basically worse and worse and worse. So this is the state of the quote-unquote road, that road leading to Cloget, that area that has collapsed. And again, it's collapsed simply because the proper pre-work, the work that should have been done before, the checking of the soil, the monitoring to see if there's underground water. Now, you've heard the contractor speaking of it, you've heard the MP speaking of it, that Cloget is known to have underground water. Then if you know an area has underground water, and you're going to do a major project in that area, one of the first things you should do is try to find out if there's underground water, and there is equipment on island, unless they mash it up already. But there is equipment on island that could detect water underground. There is equipment on the island. So there is absolutely no excuse. And you all realize something, eh? We've been hearing from the contractor. We've been hearing from the member of parliament for St. John. And as you all could see there, the land continues to slip even as this person is taking the video. And this is the person's house here. This part wasn't exposed as it was on Monday. So it means that this has gone back a couple of feet there now. It has gone back a couple of feet. And so that house is basically has to be condemned. There's no coming back for that particular, there's no coming back there. Come on, we just have to admit that. Anything else is just being stupid. There's no coming back for that. It has to be condemned. Yeah, it is a loss to the individual, a significant loss to the individual, and an unfair and unfortunate loss, because if the proper work had been done, the front loading, the proper work to go and investigate the area properly before embarking on a situation like that, you would definitely not have had that problem. You would have known where to cut. You would have known where to dig. You would have known where not to dig. You would have known where to put your wall and so. And even the walkway that they have there, me walking on that, all your Cloget people, all your brave, because then all your straight, me personally, I don't go in and walk there because I might end up down below. I ain't walking there. Telling all you, not me, not I. Yeah? I'm brave. I ain't crazy. I am not walking there. And all we're hearing is, oh, well, people have to know who to vote for. That kind of nonsense is what we're hearing from the present MP. Oh, this situation existed for years. That situation existed for years? I think not. Because even the contractor was speaking to it being as a result of after burial, they started seeing certain things and so on. And you're seeing, this is from this morning, you're seeing the video and you're seeing soil actually flowing down while we're looking at this thing here now, and that's from this morning. So you can imagine what happened for the day. And if there's significant rain right now, we have to understand what's going on. Yeah? So you're seeing the situation that the folks there, the homeowner, well, former homeowner, because that gone. Look at this thing. This was not like that on Monday. You're seeing more cracks, wider cracks, and the worst one is coming up here. And this is after the house. So the house is between this and the hole to the front. This was not to that level on Monday. So the land continues to move, the soil continues to move, and in my view, all they're doing is endangering the lives of the guys that are working on that project, unfairly so. They need to halt, get a proper job done in relation to a proper assessment, not by an MP that I ain't really know now, but I feel, no. Get the engineers, because in all of this, I am yet to hear the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. I'm yet to hear the Minister of Works and Infrastructure. I could tell you something. Had this happened in the days of Gregory Bowen, who else spent time as Minister of Works? You had Gregory Bowen. You had Mrs. Brenda Hood. You had Dr. Clarice Modest. You had Senator Norland Cox, just to name a few, who spent time as Minister of Works and Infrastructure. Had this happened under any of their watch, they would have been there the same day. Not that it would have happened, because it would not have happened under their watch, because they would have had enough sense to make sure that a proper assessment is done before you go and start digging in an area like there. They would have had enough sense to make sure that the engineers from the ministry and the CTO and all of these people go in there and do a proper assessment before you end up with the situation like we're seeing there. Yeah? Before you end up with that situation where you have people's house, soil running down every few minutes, the veranda basically done, the soil under that gone already. Yeah? Before you end up in that sort of situation, they had enough sense to know that, hey, you have to bring a proper technical team in to do an assessment of what is going on there, so that you don't end up, let me see if I can and show you this particular one here. Yeah, because this is the situation that you're ending up in now, and I'm just trying to bring them up one by one here. Yeah, this is the situation that you're ending up in now, with all the soil under the man's house. That gone, well, first the steps went on Monday and so on, then you realize now what has taken place there. And this did not, let me repeat, this did not need to happen. But partners, here what now? In the interim, take out your windows and your doors and go with that. Yeah, don't let them go down. Don't let that go down. Do it quick too, because you don't want it to end up in a situation that guys, they doing that work and the place go down. Take out your windows and doors if you could. Try and save that, at least. Yeah? Try and save your windows and doors at least. And then you have the MP. Now, let me play something for you first. Let me play this for you first from, this would be from Monday night. GBN News on Monday night. Let me play GBN News on Monday night for you, and then I'll play something else for you right after that, because it's amazing, yeah? Some of the things that you pick up when you're listening to certain programs, eh? So let's hear GBN News on Monday.
Land slippage has rendered the Closure Main Road impassable and is threatening private property there. Christina John has more.
Fire Construction Limited began constructing a retaining wall over 2 months ago, which exposed the hidden problem: water running beneath the road's surface, which ultimately led to the collapse of a portion of road. This constant undermining has festered into a much bigger issue that is now threatening the home of Kent Charles, a Grenadian residing in the United States. Speaking with GBN News Crew on Tuesday, Charles revealed that he immediately booked a flight to Grenada.
All right, so this is on Tuesday and not Monday. Thanks for the correction, Christina John.
After seeing the risk posed to his property via images and videos posted on social media. He said no one consulted or contacted him about the project.
The thing is, everything started out to begin with on the wrong footing. Because in the beginning, I was never informed of what was going on here. Nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I had to see it on the social media. And that's when I had to contact him and contact my niece-in-law to find out exactly what was going on. Then I saw that the excavation took place. And in the first place, they asked me for my cousin, who has the property here. It's my property, but he's in charge. He told me that the contractor asked them for a spot to build a shed. So I said to him they could keep down there by the golden apple tree, not a problem. And that was it. Because I didn't know the nature of the work they was going to do on the road or anything like that, you know. All they said they wanted to do some work on the road, and that's it.
The homeowner, pointing to the structure still under construction, said the flight of steps had to be detached from the main building to prevent further destruction.
As I get here, everybody now talking to me about the idea, what their ideas are, and how they're going to resolve what they're doing and things like that. That's all I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not an expert, so I just have to listen. You know what I'm saying? Let the expert do their jobs, and I'll just stand aside. You know, I'll just listen. Well, now that I see, now that the home is threatened, if you look at what happened here, the whole place is it's compromised. You know, the land structure and everything.
And folks, notice this was Tuesday. I notice the size of the cracks on Tuesday as compared to what you're seeing today.
Everything is compromised, you know. Yeah, so everything is compromised because the water on the building, whenever rain falls, some water would settle a little bit up there. The water never come back on that side here. It will fall over that side and up front. Now all the water coming back here, so that means the building drop, you know, on one end. Sometimes when you speak up, it seems like you're the wrong one, you know, so, yep.
Charles's uncle, along with other residents, had to use alternative routes because of the collapsed road.
The next thing I could show you is like one place to pass. As you see, no transport can go from here to Guav. And there's only one road we have, you know. So.
No, that's not the impression the MP gives us. She's saying that they have alternative route. We want to know where's the alternative route. Yeah, we want to know where's the alternative route. Because we hear her speaking of there being an alternative route and all of that. And the thing is this, you know, I listened to the MP speaking to this issue today. Well, not today, but on Wednesday. And let me see if I can find, let me see if I can find this one here. So that news report by GBN took place on Tuesday, as we heard Christina John saying in that report. This is To The Point program on Wednesday. Yeah, this is a To The Point program on Wednesday.
Broadcast, we heard a very sad situation of the homeowner who directly and immediately affected by the situation. Have USMP reached out to that individual directly, and what are the plans here, since it seemed that to be a substantial damage and possibly loss, of course. What did the team saw in relation to that, if you have reached out to the homeowner?
Yeah, so I personally have not reached out to the homeowner. I know that the homeowner is not on island.
Yeah, the same man who was on GBN News talking from in front of the house in Closure, well, not in Closure, but going up to Closure at the project site, is the same person the MP is saying is not on island. Yeah, so she doesn't even know because she doesn't care. And there's a reason she doesn't care about that particular homeowner. St. John people and all you know why she doesn't care about that particular homeowner, that individual himself. You all know that there is a reason, family-wise, why she does not care about that particular homeowner. Because if she had cared, she would have known that the man was back. In fact, I know Honorable Emlyn Pierre would have phoned this man if he was in Timbuktu and make sure and speak with him in relation to what is going on there. You see a situation like that. Yeah? Any part of the world she would definitely have contacted the individual and spoken to them. And any one of the new National Party MPs the same. But in this MP's case, under your watch, a project has been authorized that is causing distress to literally hundreds of people, maybe even thousands. And you're destroying an individual's home, and you don't even have the empathy, the sympathy, the emotional intelligence, EQ. I always see Brenda speak about that. The emotional intelligence to phone the man and speak with him yourself as the MP to show that you care. You don't even know. The man just said the man was on GBN News the night before. You don't even know the man in the country because you do not care. You don't care.
Reached out to that individual directly, and what are the plans here, since it seemed that to be a substantial damage and possibly loss, of course. What did the team saw in relation to that, if you have reached out to the homeowner?
Yeah, so I personally have not reached out to the homeowner. I know that the homeowner is not on island.
But he actually is. He was actually last night, of course. Our news team actually spoke to him.
So there was a caretaker that was put in place that we've had initial conversations with. In terms of the project going to start, when it's going to start, and initially, we were told, just do what we need to do and ensure that we safeguard the property and stuff like and the likes like that. And so that was the initial conversations that my team have had with them prior to that. Now that the homeowner is on island, I have not personally reached out as yet, simply because in order for me to go to the homeowner, I need to know all of the
That is not true. You can show sympathy to the man. This thing has happened. We are sorry that it has happened. I will get back to you with details. Any human being that care about people and have emotional intelligence know that's what you do. The first opportunity, you shouldn't even have to reach in Grenada before you contact him. This thing happened and the man house in danger. You have a responsibility to find the man wherever he is and speak to him. And it was easy to find him. Not difficult at all. But again, St. John people and people who know the man, all you know that there is a particular reason that the MP not really interested in speaking with him. So all the excuse she making there is nonsense.
That have been happening. I don't want you to see as an ad hoc approach or me trying to score any political points. It is an unfortunate situation, but I do know that there is already entrenched in the system that loss of land, loss of property can have to be remunerated, and the government has to ensure that they take responsibility of what transpired and try to remedy the loss by family members. Or
do you like all you have a choice in the matter? All you have to do it. It's not if, what, or but about, and all you better do it quick too.
Homeowners or landowners in the event. And so in addition to the landowner as well too, there have also been trees. As you know, Koje is a farming community. And most of the persons there rely on farming that of nutmeg production and nutmeg crops and stuff. And so there has been quite a number of farmers that lost plants, and including spice trees as well as spice plants. I don't know what the term is. That lost that as well, that can have an economic value as well. So in addition to the homeowner, the conversations will be had from that of the Ministry of Infrastructure once a decision or
yeah, girl, that's smooth. Yeah, you're the MP for St. John, but pass it to the Prime Minister, pass it to Ministry of Infrastructure. Yeah, typical NDC government minister behavior. Pass the ball on to somebody else. Yeah.
that is met for both parties to agree. So for me, no, I'm just awaiting that intervention to be had first, so that I know what the assessment says from the Ministry of Infrastructure. So from an emotional standpoint, I can better adequately be able to support and to stand in solidarity with the homeowner.
Also, they need to tell her what happened first. She can't see that the house about to collapse and that the man spending money to build the place that about to collapse. So before she can emotionally connect with what's going on with the man, she have to get the okay now from the Ministry of Infrastructure, has to tell her what's going on before she, come on, you don't even know if the man here for 4 days, you don't know if he here for a week, you don't know if the man was here just for 48 hours. You're just hearing that the man here, but you're throwing forward and said, this is why I didn't go and speak with him yet. You didn't know he was here. You didn't know he was here. You see how these people are very, very dishonest? You see how these people are very dishonest? Yes, I could say that, they're dishonest.
What would you have like to say to the residents of Clogier in particular? Of course, what are the plans for them? You know, we know it's difficult times that they're experiencing right now, that they are facing. For some, of course, assistance regarding transportations, you know, being put in place and so forth. Is there anything of that nature been put in place for them for now?
Yeah, so I would say that's what years of neglect looks like.
That's what years of neglect. So in other words, you're costing them for all your vote and NP. So it's good for all you. That is what the MP for St. John basically saying. Clogier, that is what the MP of St. John saying to you all right now and the people who utilize that road. All you vote for NNP, so it's good for all you. Idiots.
And this is not the first project that has happened in terms of major road improvement or major road network improvement for the people of and residents of Clogier. When you leave things to fester, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. And certainly with everything that is happening now.
You really want to claim that NNP didn't do any road up in Clogier and that kind of thing? I could pull pictures, you know, I was there. 2016 when that road was opened there, what's the name of it? In 2016, yeah, would be 2016, 2015 or 2016. Yeah, I was the Minister of Information at the point in time, you know, so I'll embarrass you. Don't go down that road, young lady. If you don't know what you're talking about, feel free to hush.
More rainfall. Sometimes it exacerbates the problem and makes it worse. So that is what happens when you have neglect, and that's why it's very important that you have strong advocates or strong representatives for you to represent you well, so that these things.
Yeah, so they need to get rid of you, right? They need strong representatives, so they need to get rid of you. I'll vote her out. Vote her out. She has to go. Vote her out. Vote her out. No if, what, or but about it. She has to go. Yeah? And she's talking about that. Let's hear what the contractor had to say. Where's the contractor? Mr. Contractor, where are you? Your video was here somewhere. And why that doing that now? Why you want to disappear from here now? Yeah, Mr. Contractor, we want to hear from you. And I had that video. Where's that video gone to? Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, let her put that music before they make me get a copyright strike there.
For one, as a supervisor on Fari Construction Company, FCSL.
Give us an appreciation of where we are and the reason that you all signed a contract here in the first instance.
Well, in the first instance, we came up here to do 110 feet of wall to protect the road because it was slipping, right? And box drain on the next side of the road because of the water that was soaking through the road, right? So initially we came up here to do 110 feet of road, roughly around 22 feet high.
And during the process, explain to us further how your project expanded.
Okay, so during the process, right, when we start cutting, we realized that we had to go deeper than initially had to go. So in that process, we realized that the road starts slipping more. So we had extended on the wall to cover the area.
And folks, you all notice up to now, we haven't heard from the Ministry of Works Infrastructure in relation to this project. I'm beginning to get the feeling that this is a project that the MP and others just conspired and they say, okay, we're giving that contract so-and-so, go and do that road, and that the Ministry of Infrastructure was not involved as it ought to have been involved in getting the proper assessment of the area done before that project took place. Because we're hearing the contractor here, and this was a little earlier in the year, I believe last month or so, yeah, this was the contractor, and then we're seeing what's happening this month.
And that is the reason why we reached closer to the house that is in thing now. But we come up with a solution to protect the house through the ministry. We came and...
That obviously didn't work.
We shelved in the wall, and we're going to put a wing wall to protect the house.
In your excavation works, did you identify any of the contributing factors for the slippage of the land?
Yes, well, when we start cutting, we realize that the area up here, you have a lot of springs. So anybody with no closure area, they're going to know that this area up here, you have a lot of springs. So when we start excavating, we realize that where we start cutting on the top side of the road.
Oh, when you start cutting is when you realize that? You're supposed to know that? You ain't supposed to find that out when you're cutting? Because the proper procedures did not take place before you start cutting. But contractor, I don't blame you, Papa. I don't blame all you. The Ministry of Infrastructure, supposed to have done the assessment first before tendering out that, if it was ever tendered out in the first place. They are supposed to do the proper procedures to check, then tender it out so that the contractors know the full scope of the work that has to be done. And then they are supposed to be on site regularly during the week, every week, to make sure that what is being done is up to standard and is being done properly.
And that was causing the land to slip. So that is why we had to go deeper with the cutting of the road. So we end up now with a greater challenge on our hand where we have a house involved, right? But the experience we have through the ministry, we came up to a solution yesterday where we're gonna...
Oh, yesterday. Oh, so there wasn't foresight to know that that might be a problem. Okay, all right.
We're gonna shelve the area and we're gonna put a wing wall to protect the house. And if anybody know what they call the gabion basket, we're gonna put a gabion basket there so the water, what is in the land, because of the mold that is there, it's gonna slip out, take out all the water.
I kind of, yeah, I want to hear more. Right, nice. Yeah, yeah, serious, I want to hear more. Right, yeah, I'll ask you the video, I'll send it for you. I want to hear more on them and that. Really and truly. Yeah, because quite clearly, these people did not know what they're doing. All they went to do is 100 and something feet a wall. That is it. That's what they went and do. They start doing that project and they caused this whole calamity. And again, I am not blaming the contractor. I want to make it clear. I'm not blaming the contractor. The Ministry of Infrastructure, who the minister happens to be the Prime Minister of this country, he has the responsibility to ensure that the pre-work, the work that has to be done before going through and checking soil and all of that had to be done through the technical people, the engineers in his ministry were supposed to do that job. And they would have known, had that been done and done properly, they definitely would have known that there was underground water running through different parts there, and that if you're doing the wall, this is the way that you're doing it, and all of that, so that we'd not be at the stage that we are right now with the house about to kilkete down into the, yes, kilkete, that's a word I used in a long time, kilkete down inside the valley there, and just mash up everything. It would not have been to that stage had the work been done properly. It has not been, it's a failure on behalf of the Ministry of Infrastructure. And again, I'm not even blaming the staff there, because the staff there, Many of them, most of them were there during the period of the New National Party, is competent and capable people who know what to do. But if the general is an idiot, if the general doesn't know how to lead their troops, you will end up with such situations. You will have the most competent troops. But if you're sending them into battle with the wrong gear, or you're sending them into the wrong fighting formation, and you're just making stupid decisions, your troops will fail because the general don't know what he's doing. And in this case, that is exactly what happened. You have somebody who is in charge there that does not know what they are doing. Let's hear the minister a bit more in relation to that closure project.
MP, there's that topical issue of the closure issue that I want to speak to you about. We have been hearing from the contractor of the many challenges that they have encountered thus far on the project, the underwater, etc., and so forth. My question in relation to this is, was a proper assessment done before the contractor was awarded, or if so?
When people put their hand on the mouth in between something, it's because they're trying to hold back from saying something. So like you didn't want that question, and you want to say, but hold you, and you kind of put your hand in front of your mouth. That when you're reading body language, that is a very telling sign that somebody's being asked a question and they're putting their hand there. One, they want to tell you something that they know they shouldn't tell you. Yeah? But on the other hand, is something that they really don't want to have to deal with. So they're trying to hide from the question. That is why your hand is in front of face. Learn to read body language.
Which department? And
watch how the eyes head in different directions too. You will notice it.
If it was not, why not? Why not? 4 starts.
Okay. All right. So all infrastructure projects, and certainly, most infrastructure projects, and for projects that are large in its totality, it is carried on by the Ministry of Infrastructure Development.
I agree, girl. You throw the blame on Deacon. Ministry of Infrastructure and thing that does do that. You're asking me that question. Throw it on Deacon. I agree with you.
Projects, it goes through several phases, one being the scope and design, then we have the bidding process that is done through the procurement unit in terms of the awarding of the contracts, and followed by the commencement of the project and the several phases that is attached to the commencement of the project. So similarly, the same was done for the Closure Road Rehabilitation Project. This road project...
So she's claiming here that on this project there was a scope of work, and then there was the bidding, and then the execution of the project. If there was a scope of work, whoever did that needs to go home or go back to school if they went to engineering school or so. But then we can't say that still, because we don't know if the individual was given the tools that they need to do the job properly, or the time frame that they needed to do a proper assessment. Were they allowed to do soil testing? Were they allowed to do where they send those waves through the ground to see where there's water and different things like that? Were they allowed to do a proper assessment before the scope of work was completed, or were they told you have 72 hours, do that? So we can't necessarily blame the person who do the scope of work, you know. It could be that the powers that be did not give them the amount of time to be able to do this. But anyway, oh dear, Fado, mistakenly a message you were putting through there was deleted. Send it back again, please. Yeah, mistakenly that message was deleted. So let's hear her again. Yeah, so blame the Ministry of Infrastructure.
For more than 8 years now, and eventually what would have happened, the road had already started crumbling even before the intervention was made this year. So we've had to deal with it being almost a one-lane road access, and we had to urgently put it on the agenda to fix it as a result of that. So when the scope was done, the CTO, the Chief Technical Officer for the Ministry of Infrastructure, they would come up with their team of engineers, and so they would survey, they would ensure everything is on par, that it is safe for work to commence, what intervention is needed, and the likes. Separate and apart from that as well too, if there are other surrounding things that is on the surrounding what would be the construction site, for example, pipes due to NAWASA, or maybe poles that maybe need to have to temporarily be removed and moved to another location while the duration of the project is undergoing, that would happen. The conversations would happen for those things to happen. And so with that specific project, same was done for the area. NAWASA was brought up to mapping the pipes, the distribution network, to see if any...
for NAWASA. Yeah, blame NAWASA too. Infrastructure, NAWASA, let me see who else getting blamed. So far, the Ministry of Infrastructure, they're getting somebody blamed there. The next set of blame going to NAWASA. The people who, remember when she spoke on Sunday, she said they didn't realize it have a pipe that carrying water, and burst. They didn't realize that pipe was there. But anyway.
Needs to be made and the likes. When they started, so for those persons who know the area, they would know that Crochet is, forgive me for not knowing the technical term, but Crochet is a wet area. It's always moist, right? So when that work commenced, they realized that not all of the pipes were originally mapped out. Some of the pipes, the statutory body, NAWASA, was unaware that there were still pipes run underground. And so there was the first instance, or the first challenge that the contractors were faced with, was that of having a natural stream flowing of water that had to be taken under control, that had to be controlled. That was subsequently controlled, and then the other tragedy happened with the NAWASA pipe and having fresh water now, a pipe that was not mapped in the original initial scoping phase. That pipe burst as well while they were undergoing work, while they were organizing for the basin, for the casting of the retaining wall. So coupled with the geographic nature, or the nature of the environment in Clogier, having been like a waterlogged area, and coupled with unmapped pipes, we've seen the result of that happening there.
Oh, unmapped pipes. So NAWASA is to blame because they didn't map the pipe properly, and then infrastructure is to blame because they did the scope of works and the MP has no blame. Okay.
Because of that, the land is in that particular location is quite unstable as well. So that didn't help in terms of the rehabilitation efforts. And so most of the works that had happened already on the first half of the road eventually collapsed over the weekend. As I've mentioned in another interview, I personally believe that...
Yeah, we ain't really care what you personally believe, yeah, because you're really making sense too. So... No, seriously, we don't care what you believe. We want to know what's the fact. What are the facts in relation to the entire thing? We heard what you believe on Sunday and all kind of thing. And again, it's the typical behavior of the NDCites. We spoke about that last week, Friday, and for the entire week we've been speaking about that. Shift the blame to others. Yeah, in this instance, the blame going to her boss, the Prime Minister, and it going to NAWASA. And again, NAWASA is a public utility. Is it under infrastructure? Yeah, I believe it's under the Prime Minister as well. Yeah, so yeah, the Prime Minister doubly to blame in this instance once again. Has the Prime Minister visited the residents of Clogier? Has he visited that site as Minister of Infrastructure? Because the present Prime Minister is finding himself, the air traffic controller, have him so busy that he is finding himself in communities in St. David after 9 in the night going and knock people door. Mr. Prime Minister, what kind of thing is that? You can't visit people in the daytime? You go in and check communities. You're so desperate that you're going and knock people door after 9 o'clock in the night. People say the Prime Minister coming in the area, coming and knock their door and asking them if they're okay. After 9 in the night? That is desperation, Papa. That is desperation. Yeah? That is desperation in its highest form. Yeah? But this MP, and someone was correcting me there, they said the person doing all the talking on that Clogier site is the site supervisor. He says so all the time. Yes, he is the site supervisor. He's representing the contractor, right? Nothing from the contractor, nor the minister, nor anybody from the ministry. So we haven't heard from the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of Infrastructure, right? I believe Public Utilities falls under him as well. So he's the minister directly in charge of NOASA as well. Nothing from the Prime Minister. And not even the MIT man. MIT man ain't going and get up there. He too busy right now. He too worried right now because he knows. Why you don't take Jenny to court? He go find out. He knows what is going on with him. Right, yeah. So the site supervisor. Okay. So we understand that particular one. But again, folks, there has to be clear understanding here. This is more than just an inconvenience to the people of Clogier. This is more than just an inconvenience to the homeowner. This is affecting lives. Remember, there are people in Clogier who tomorrow is Saturday would come down with their goods to sell in St. John, in Guave itself and so. That right now, if they have to do that, they have to go across the St. Andrew, come over the Grenada, and then come up the West Coast to do those sales. Yeah? They can't just come down. There's no alternative road. Contrary to what the minister has said on 2 different occasions, there's no alternative road going down to St. John. The people of Clogier have been cut off from St. John unless they decide to take the long route and go around the northern part of the island, go around St. Patrick and come around, through St. Mark and come down, or they go across the St. Andrew, go over the Grenada and come back up the West Coast. So that is those are the options that they have right at this point in time. And folks, it's 9:23. We're going to open the phone lines in a little while. Not quite yet. We're going to open the phone lines in a little while. But I want to give you all a reminder of a news report that I saw recently. Yeah, and this news report came off of, I believe it's MTV. Yeah, MTV News. Let's go into that news report kind of quickly there.
Vendors in Guelph St. John are expressing concern over a steady decline in economic activities within the area. Over the past 5 months, many say sales have been noticeably slow, leaving them struggling to meet their financial obligations. One vendor shared with MTV News that while business is not what it once was, she remains thankful for the chance to earn a living and provide for her family.
Well, in the evening time when I come, it's not busy. But like people want something, they will come and say, well, give them that. And you have people who take things from me and come back and pay. So I always try. I don't give up. I don't do little garden for myself. I plant like potato, pepper and things. If I don't have nothing, if I don't have them things, I buy from other farmers. Well, most time for the week. Sometimes I make $100. For the week? Most time for the week. You see, when you see down here, it's not everybody are going to buy. The things is slow. So anything I make, I just thank God for that.
And how are you surviving on $100 a week?
Well, I check it as that, no, because I'm making it. Sometimes I make a 2 days work with somebody.
Another vendor explained that her earnings have dropped significantly compared to previous years, affecting her ability to make ends meet.
Well, sale is down right now. Country is down. The place is dead. So we're just holding on and trusting that God will show up for us. Yeah. Well, sometime maybe 100.
What do you with $100?
Yeah. $100 can buy nothing.
So how are you paying your bills and all those stuff when you're only making $100?
By the grace of God.
They told MTV News that despite the appearance of large crowds in the area, the flow of money remains limited, adding to their frustration.
Well, it kind of bit slow. It kind of be a bit slow. I don't know what really going on for Guam, but it kind of slow. We have a lot of people in the place, but the spending fee is not there.
Well, the business is kind of slow.
It will come between. Yes, kind of slow. Yeah.
Okay, so how much money do you make on a daily basis?
Well, if I sell today, I get about 30 to 40.
Okay, it's dead, like for a long time, We just here trying to pick up the pieces, Yeah.
Vendors noted that while the recent fisherman's birthday celebrations brought a brief uptick in business, sales quickly declined once the festivities ended, returning to what they described as an exceptionally slow pace. For MTV News, Rachel Bean.
All right, folks, so that is a report that was broadcast by the Grenada, not Grenada Broadcasting, but Meaningful Television. And when that was broadcast, then you had this response by the MP and her surrogates, because I realize that as operate with surrogates right now, when they're doing things, they have individuals who they co-op into these things on their behalf. So this was the statement made by the Member of Parliament for St. John. Yeah? Watch Dunceness NN, so she going to call them NNP, obviously. Sorry, MTV News Grenada, take the win for back of the class. So she is attacking a media house. I ain't hear MWAG say anything about it. MWAG is being very selective, it seems. So I ain't hear MWAG had anything to say about a government minister basically berating a news item brought by a media house. MWAG silent on that. Anyhow, then, of course, this other, I know what to call that one now, because they're always all over the internet with some stupidness attacking people and saying all kind of nastiness. I know. You know why they ain't go and get yourself straight. Yeah, as in straight. Get yourself straight. Yeah, read between the lines. Right. So that's the attack that they come attacking, yeah? Attacking MTV, because MTV went and interviewed some people in St. John, and that is what the people in St. John had to say. They are living it. They are living it. They are the ones that leave home on a daily basis and come out to ply their trade. They are the ones with the children at home waiting for them to reach back to see what they bring back for them. They are the ones that have the children to send to school on the mornings before they go out there to make the hustle. They are the ones that when the phone ring, they realize it's Grenlec, because Grenlec is coming to cut off the electricity, or they see an Awasa van passing and they have to be, their heart skip a beat because they don't know if it's their water and Awasa going and cut off. They are the ones that living it. They are the ones that going through, because tell me how a person surviving on $100 a week. They are the ones that going through. They are the ones that suffering. And when they speak out about it, apparently they shouldn't say anything. They shouldn't say anything. And then there's the attitude of the minister when asked about that.
We got a lot of criticism.
Let me just bring it up properly here. Yeah, so there's the attitude of the minister when asked about that particular issue.
On social media posting where you attacked a media host of a story that they did, of course, on the economic situation in St. John. What prompted you to such a, of course, aggressive response, if I may ask you that?
Well, I will not say the response was aggressive at all. I would not say.
Okay, yeah, you wouldn't say that. You call the people dunce. You call the people dunce. You basically accuse them of being operatives of the new National Party. But proceed.
But I didn't know it was I didn't know I aggressively respond to them. To say aggressive is quite a strong word. I am also cognizant of the fact that in politics, persons would do certain things, not necessarily having the best interests of the country or constituency or constituencies at heart. Persons will do things that are politically motivated and to score political points. And so for me, certainly, having been the representative of the area, I think, as media houses, we have a responsibility. And I say we because all of us, I carry the media as well. You know, the media has a responsibility to not try to, you know, perpetuate or create or even fuel that sort of political mischief that is happening and misinformation. The media.
So the people saying what they're going through on a daily basis. The woman says she makes $100 a week. Another one says sometimes she might make $30 a day or whatever it is. The people saying what they're going through. And here is the MP, instead of saying, let me see what I can do to fix the situation, just calling it political mischief. In other words, letting people hold their tail, their line.
Has a responsibility to give persons the facts as it is. Some might have, some individual journalists and so might have their own biases, but when you are a media personnel, when you are a journalist, certainly not a critique or not somebody that is just doing it out of, you know, having a political stance or they say commenters. When you have a media house and you are a reputable brand, you have to ensure that what you put out, it reflects that.
And you're seeing the arrogance coming out from the individual here. So the media, how dare the media house bring the truth about what's going on in St. John to people? How dare they do that? Look at the arrogance of the individual as they're speaking there.
Of an international standard. You are not doing things just for the consumption of now or trying to get likes on Facebook or trying to compete with the other media houses. You are giving information. And so I found it. If it was something whereby you really and truly wants to talk about the economic impact or the economic situation of a particular parish, forget constituency. Interviewing two persons on a day where, as any other days in the country and in any other parishes, there are high days, there are low days. You came up there and you interviewed just two random people that are not really vendors per se.
I think I counted 4, but who am I?
The word of that's their only trade, but they do it seasonally or they do it. They do it on a day-to-day basis. To say that the economic situation is bad, I think it speaks to your integrity, and it speaks to how reputable are you. And so I think from that stance, the representative from the place, I felt personally attacked that you would try to downgrade the parish like that. And certainly, I don't know if you know, but there is always this trend, and even me not being in politics, not being involved in politics, but since my days of representation, representing my parish in National Carnival Queen Show, there've always been that trend whereby persons feel as though Guave, when you hear the word Guave, is a taboo place. There is nothing good comes from Guave. It's always something negative being perpetuated, and thankfully, thank God for our only gold, silver, and bronze medalists that we've been able to lift our nose and to change that narrative, even if beyond or before Kirani's reign in the Olympic Games.
Okay, a fallback position, yeah. People should go and talk only about Kirani and not the reality of what's happening where Kirani is from. Talk about Kirani, talk about all the people. And listen, I'm from St. John. My grandfather was born on Back Street in Guave. I'm a Guaverian myself. Ask BC, go tell you, because both of us come from the same two brothers. Yeah? His grandfather and my grandfather are brothers. So we come from the same people. Ask him. So I say in John blood and me too. So we must only talk about the good and not talk about the bad. Oh God, that picture ain't looking too good. Let me let her talk. I ain't look nice at all, and she face look. What a place to stop it. Anyway.
We've had reputable doctors. We've had persons, governor generals. The only thing we have yet is a prime minister. But we've had persons of great stature. We've had great businessmen coming.
Again, while she's saying all of that, the vendors up there are making 100. Well, at least one vendor is making 100 a week. Another one, according to how much days she come out, might be making more, because she says she's making 30 sometimes on a daily basis and that sort of thing. So while these people are going through that, and they're saying not just what they are going through, but what other people are going through in St. John, the MP saying, don't talk about that. Yeah, she wanted direct. She wants to become the news director for Meaningful Television right now. I didn't know the position open, but anyhow.
Out of Guelph, emanating out of Guelph, and every time the media gets an opportunity to showcase Guelph or the parish of St. John, it is always in a negative light. So I think from that perspective, I became passionate as a Guelpharian. I became passionate as a member, as a constituent of St. John, to say that, you know, it's about time that the media houses stop put Guelph in that kind of light, that nothing is happening and nothing good could come.
Well, I don't think the media and so had Guelph in that light. But with an MP acting the way that you're acting right now, and with the amount of lies that you're telling, you are disgracing the people of St. John. You're a disgrace to the people of St. John. That's my view. Yeah? You are a disgrace to the people of St. John.
So I think that's from that perspective that I put it out there to implore on our media personnel. It's one thing to be a commentator. There are persons who are commentating on things that are happening, and we know they have a particular bias, and that's fine. They're doing what they're doing. We have other content creators. We have other influencers, Grenada influencers that speaks on issues, political issues. They have political commentary. But as a media host, as a reputable media host, that is not the kind of thing that you want to bring. And if you want to bring a story to talk about the economic nature or economic situation of a particular parish and the country, you have to do so not vindictively. It's easy to see through the...
MP, I understand the passion in which you speak.
Yeah.
No,
that's not passion, GT. That's arrogance.
On the level of criticism that you have received, do you think there's a need to apologize?
Pardon?
Based on the level of criticism that you have received via the comments that you have made, in relation to that via social media, do you think there's a need for you to apologize based on the level of criticism?
I don't think that there has been a level of criticism. I mean, in and outside of that too. Who is creating the criticism? Who is perpetrating the criticism? You'd see it's.
Watch the camera and talk now, girl. Is we are talking to watch the camera and talk. Don't watch up there. Don't watch the camera. You know you're not being genuine with what you're saying.
Political commentary again.
So there's no need for you to apologize.
We don't hear.
There's no need for me to apologize when I'm defending my parish outside of being the representative. I think the MTV news need to apologize to the people for bringing out that kind of narrative about the parish. And if you really and truly want to talk about the economic situation of the parish, a parish that is dynamic, that is different to that of other parishes in Grenada, or a particular community or city, do so in the right way. So I think the media house should bring out an apology to the people of St. John. Okay. And to come and do a total assessment. It's fine to do stories. All it's right. Fine to do
I certainly understand, but we...
Can't believe people actually voted for this individual. My goodness. People actually voted for that person. Oh boy. Yeah, you all heard what the people said. You all saw the interview. I didn't see anything wrong with the interview. Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with that interview. Look, there's another interview.
According to a media review done by government in 2024, unemployment among men decreased significantly by 25%, falling from 9.6%. In contrast, female unemployment increased by 8.2%, rising from 14.6%. According to the 2024 media review, unemployment is more prevalent among females, which is 29.3%, age ranging from 25 to 64, 14%, signaling a higher unemployment among females compared to males. The unemployment rate, according to reports, was higher during and after the COVID-19 pandemic, reaching 18.5% in 2020. However, it has steadily declined since then. While reports are that unemployment is down, there is still a cry for help in rural areas such as St. Mark. According to some young men, unemployment is a major challenge for them. They believe that not enough is being done for them and would prefer to be gainfully employed rather than sit idly by on a daily basis.
Well, as a young person, I want to sit down around the countries. They have to fix up the road more better. I do more things, give the youths more work, pass around, see who want to work and give them work. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of youths, they don't have no work. They don't have no job, nothing doing. They just stay in the place. You know what I mean? Idling. So they have to get work to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me, I just go my land and thing, land work more and thing. And I want a permanent work. You know what I mean? All of us, we want permanent work to go out and work and thing.
One young fisherman in the parish of St. Mark is calling on the necessary authorities and community members to work together to ensure that the fishing economy remains sustainable.
You were saying, the fishing and thing, you have to do more better than that and thing. So, like, them people in the company and them, they have to pay more on the fishing and thing, you check. Man going out there and busy life and thing and we're getting nothing, you check. They should change the people and them people and them doing wrong and thing. Yeah. They don't want to pay or something, you check. $6 and some $5 for grade one, like $5 for like bone fish and thing, and grade one like $7 and thing. You see, like tuna come to nothing in Grenada right now. You check. Them company and them like say like this. They sell over the fish.
And folks, while on the screen it says St. John, this is actually an interview that's taking place in St. Mark. But you realize that the young folks are talking, and there's now, she go and talk to two people in Guave. She's spoken to some people in St. Mark as well now in relation to the present economic situation there.
Something like foreign and thing, yeah. And they getting like more for it and they pay us less.
This young man who recently started a business said while he is trying to make it on his own, the challenges are mounting. He believes that the young people in Grenada deserves nothing but the best.
The money not circulating as how it used to because of, I don't know if it's because of the change of the government, so I can't say. But to me, I'm contented with what, the business, I'm contented with whatever I get. And my peak time is on a Sundays, and actually I could cover like, let me say, probably 350, 400. What I could say about the other people, they does eat a little food, but it's not really working out for them the way because we paying a monthly rent here.
For MTV News, Rachel Bain. According to...
Yeah, so it is not one or two people talking. The young people are talking to you. The elder people are talking to you. The middle-aged people are talking to you. They're saying, hey, things bad. But no, you mustn't say that. So if they don't say that back at the class, they dunce. Must tell people you get a degree. Anyhow, back at the class, dunce, all kind of nonsense and that kind of thing. Folks, as I said, are going a little past 10 o'clock here because I had more things to play. Yeah, so the minister is saying here clearly that she refuses to apologize for the statements made here. When that story was broadcast on MTV, she went under the story, and that is the statement she made. Yeah? So in other words, to hell with what the people are saying. I'm the MP, and if I say it good, it's good. Yeah, and as one of the viewers tonight was saying in the comments there a while ago, it would have been so good if instead of coming and attacking the media house, she had come there and offered solutions, because there is a problem. Had she come and offered solutions, it would have shown some depth. But instead of that, come and just cuss out the media house, because Ali always has something to say about Gov. All of us Goverian, not you alone. Yes, I know, I'm from all over. I'm from all over. But mainly Gov Springs and Montreal and Carriacou. Yeah? Mainly those areas. I'm from all over. I have blood from all over. I mix up. I'm Bajan too, I can explain that one to you one day. Yeah? And you see, it's the kind of lies that these individuals come out with and expect you to believe. I'm going to play something here for you now. I want you all to listen very carefully. And I want you all in the comment section, if she is telling the truth, put truth. If she is telling a lie, put lie. Now let's go over this again. If she is telling the truth, put the word truth. If she's telling a lie, put the word lie. Let me play the video that I'm going to play for you now from the Grenada Broadcasting Network's To The Point program on Wednesday gone. Yeah? This is the MP for St. John.
Early in your tenure, you took the initiative of having several colored, bins placed on location, especially the tongue of St. George.
Let me pull it back here because I don't want you all to miss part of it. Hey, some people don't start to put lie already. No, listen first. And then all you going to put lie or truth.
Early in your tenure, you took the initiative of having several colored, bins placed on location, especially the tongue of St. George, as a property of the solid waste management. How has this been going? Tell me about this, Anne. Has the project worked? Is garbage being separated and it's been dealt with accordingly with the color of the bin systems? How been put in place? Tell me, how has that been working?
That has been going very, very well, actually. It was a project that was done on the OECS again, recycle program, ensuring that we can enshrine and bring in the waste separation into the communities so that persons can play their part in terms of environmental stewardship and protection. And so we've had the bins. The only issue that many persons have told us so far, the feedback that we've gotten, is that the bins are too small, and I have to agree with the constituents as well and persons and the tourists alike who those bins that were placed in tourist attraction areas or sites mentioned to us, but it has been going very, very well. Another thing that has been going extremely well for us, surprisingly also, is the plastic bottles collection. We've had quite a number of plastic bottles being placed in the large plastic bottle, if you want to call it a bin. There we have one at the Morris Bishop International Airport. Other groups as well have also played their part in terms of making their own collection points and having it placed on areas that are heavily used by the public. So, to see that we have been able to start a movement or continue on the cry to ensuring that civil society groupings and NGOs, play their part in terms of environmental protection and stewardship, I think it's a win-win for us. The project has ended, but our continued public relations and public awareness campaign has not ended on those.
Folks, the minister is speaking about the red, green, and yellow bins that have been placed in St. George and Grenada, etc. The question asked of the minister, oh gosh, Uchicha, God, I can't let that comment come true. Oh God, I have to hide that particular one. Oh God. Folks, the minister is saying that people have been going to these bins and they've been placing the proper thing. So they're putting paper into the paper bins. They've been putting organic waste into the organic waste bin, metal into metal, plastic into plastic, whatever. That we Grenadians have taken the time that we've been separating our waste and placing them in the various bins that have been placed in different locations. Now I know that around by NIS, there are 3 of them there. I don't know if it's still 3 or if you reach down to 1 or 2 or how much, but I know it had some there, and 1 or 2 other places around the town. Lord, what some people saying in the comments, they see, as I'm the moderator, I'm seeing certain things that some people are saying in the comments there, and I have a filter, so it's holding it back. Jesus Christ. You know, I have a good mind to let some of them comments come through. Eh? Believe me. But Mrs. McPhill and Mommy George and Auntie Cammy, they go vex with me. I can't let them comments come through. Helen go on me. But I'm seeing these bins. Everybody pass and whatever you have, you just throw it in a bin. Nobody watching and saying, hey, this bin only supposed to be plastic. Most people can't even tell you which color. I can't tell you which color is supposed to be plastic. And I'm a person that read, follow news, everything. And I cannot tell you which one of these bins and them that it have that were put out about 2 years ago. I can't tell you which one of them you're supposed to put organic waste in, from what you're supposed to put plastic in, from what you're supposed to put metal or glass or whatever in. I can't tell you that. I'm pretty sure that nearly nobody could tell you that. Near nobody could possibly, any all you know, all you tell me. Which one is supposed to put in which one, and outside of that, you be around town at the point in time that the garbage truck come to collect those bins. The garbage truck, they take up bin 1, they throw it inside. Bin 2, they throw it inside, and bin 3. So even if it was separated, it going in the garbage truck as one thing. They don't have any location that they're saying, okay, we put in all the plastic here, and we put in all the organic here, and we're doing that. The garbage truck, everything mixing up in the garbage truck when they're going with it. So you know what? She damn lie. She lie. She lie. I'm a guy that has been around all different places, all kind of hours, you know. You be around any of the areas that those bins are. I've seen when the garbage truck come and collecting those bins. And we do not have any special garbage truck that passing around only to collect plastic waste. We have no special trucks that passing around only to collect organic waste, and none only to collect metal or glass and that kind of thing. So putting the bins was public relations. Hey, we put some bins, and these bins are going to do that, and that was the end of it 2 and something years ago when that was put out. Minister, you lie. And you should have the decency to speak the truth to the Grenadian people. But then you see, putting the words decency and truth in the same sentence as a minister of the present administration is a dangerous thing to do. It might go off like what went off in Telescope. You don't mix them things together, they don't work. Yeah? They might become volatile. That is a lie. That project ain't going good. You go in the morning in town, and if you see the bins, because I might go and move them tonight, you go and see if you see those bins, and you tell me, phone me on Monday, and embarrass me, tell me, yes, Sheldon, people have been placing plastic in one, and paper in one, and organic matter in one, and glass in one, and whatever, and they're separating the garbage, and then give me a picture of the garbage truck that come and only collecting one type of waste. Or does a big garbage truck come and just empty all the bins into one? Somebody's saying here, Sheldon, one of the criteria to be an NDC member is that you have to be able to lie. Well, it seems so. This person who is a teacher God one. You ain't easy, you know. That person says the garbage truck might as well collect her with the dirty lies coming. Oh, goodness gracious. Your mouth no good. No, but these are the kind of things that we're hearing from her. And imagine, I haven't even touched on sargassum yet, and I'm wondering if I should touch on the sargassum, because she said some things there. She admitted that they didn't have the equipment here to be able to deal with the sargassum. Eh? She admitted that. I'm wondering if I should touch that now or leave that for now. But let me just go on another one here in relation to God one. I had to play some more of her. Yeah, let me play another one here where she is speaking about the project in Woodford.
Understand the caller's question. So he's speaking about the Reno development plant that is an asphalt plant that is going to be erected. So far, there has been the erection of plants. I can't tell you what is the name of the equipment.
Okay, the MP for the area can't tell you what it is they erect there, but anyway, they erected in her area, so.
But there have been equipment placed on these sites as well as on the other side of the road as well too. You'll see that they were in the process of creating what seems to be like a road heading down to the bay. So long story short, I was made aware of the situation in February of this year that...
Okay, so the MP for the area did not know that an asphalt plant, a major infrastructural project, was being done in her constituency. Maybe she was too busy jumping plane and flying all over. So the MP for the area did not know that this plant was being constructed in her constituency. Maybe she thought Woodford was St. George Northwest, you know, but when he was looking for vote, you know, it was in St. John though.
This plant is happening there. There were no consultation being done with the residents of the area and so. And of course, course, the farmers of the area and the residents of the Woodford and by extension Mondo area as direct communities reached out to my office to inform me that they would want to have an engagement with me on the issue so that I can take it up to the necessary authorities to ascertain what is happening, because nobody gave them any insight. And so on the, I think it was on the 6th of February this year, I met with the residents and the farmers alike to dealing with that issue as well as the collapse of the Mondo road. I brought Mikey Hutchinson as the person there because I always document whenever I have engagement with persons so that I am not misquoted or misinterpreted. So we had the dialogue there, and I think my response to them was from the perspective of having the company Renault personnel reaching out to my office, that is Office of the Parliamentary Representative, that did not happen. From the perspective of, let's say, the Ministry of Infrastructure reaching out to the office and inform me that this is happening in my constituency, that did not happen. And so I told them from a technical...
So again, here she's blaming the Ministry of Infrastructure for, quote unquote, not reaching out to her to tell her that that was taking place in her constituency. So this ain't pass through cabinet and nothing like that. This was basically go and build it, go and do all you want to do. So even the MP is saying that she didn't know because they never reached out. The Prime Minister and his ministry did not reach out to her.
That did not happen. And so I told them from a technical perspective.
Let me just bring it back so you hear that statement.
Of the Parliamentary Representative, that did not happen. From the perspective of, so we had the dialogue there, and I think my response to them was from the perspective of having the company Renault personnel reaching out to my office, that is Office of the Parliamentary Representative, that did not happen. From the perspective of, let's say, the Ministry of Infrastructure reaching out to the office and inform me that this is happening in my constituency, that did not happen. And so I told them from a technical perspective, I cannot speak to that of which I don't know. Not necessarily stating that I don't know the project and I'm the MP and I don't know, but to say that the conversation was not had with the
No, but you're the MP and you didn't know. And watch now, ease up with your voice now. Sometimes you're making me go all over with my volume here. So yeah, you have to kind of nice, yeah.
With the parties involved. Consequently, after that, I put together a presentation and I submitted to the cabinet, including that of the Prime Minister, to inform them that this was the challenges and we're going to have, I need, some answers or whatever. I need to find out exactly what it is so that I can report back to my constituents and we can find a solution going forward. The same week, I was told that a group, I'd never heard of them before, but they subsequently put themselves together.
Stop playing with your hair and thing now, girl.
Into that one issue. They brought together persons and they had public engagement, and they invited myself, and I said I was going to go whether or not I would have been invited. Our Prime Minister had asked our advisor, because we share the same advisor for infrastructure and RE, to attend on our behalf, the permanent secretary and some of the staffing from the Ministry of Infrastructure and Rail.
Also, the advisor that you have and infrastructure has, who knew that the project was taking place in your constituency, didn't find it important to let you know that the project was taking place in your constituency. Marvelous. Yeah, okay.
Company personnel was present at that meeting, and lights were shared with the residents who had an issue with the project in terms of they're not being opposed to it entirely, but they are concerned about the public health and safety. They are concerned that no consultation was done, and they are concerned based on things that they heard was not fulfilled. And at that meeting, we were told by the Planning and Development Authority, I think that's what he was referring to as the PDA maybe, that Renault was given a halt, a cease order, for lack of a better word.
Not a cease order, a cease and desist anyway.
Until
a cease and desist is the same thing anyway, but anyhow.
Some of the environmental and social impact assessment was done. So it's not like if somebody gave them, access to doing something without going through the right channels. But as you recall, some projects are so big in its numbers that you are not able to follow up, and most of the ministries are grossly understaffed. There are not enough.
Oh, so folks, I want you to listen carefully to this part, because what she's saying here goes in line with the project that is in closure. We've made the full circle now. So she's saying some projects basically cannot be monitored properly or implemented properly because you don't have enough staff. That's the blame now. So it goes back again to the Ministry of Infrastructure. Throw the Prime Minister under the bus further, man. Right now about this hour of the night, he probably visiting some houses somewhere in St. David's. Yeah. So let's hear what she has to say here.
Are so big in its numbers that you are not able to follow up, and most of the ministries are grossly understaffed. There are not enough technical engineers involved or on board with the ministries to ensure that they can follow up day to day and day by day.
Oh, so that is what happened, man. The whole thing collapsed in closure right now, and the man house basically gone. Okay, all right.
Sometimes some things go unnoticed, and it's only after it.
Yeah, some things go unnoticed, like burst pipe under the ground, water running under the ground, the land slipping away, and you're still doing the project. Things like that go unnoticed, isn't it? Yeah, thanks for clearing that up for us.
Implemented is only after things are done that they can check up, right? So I can't say whether or not that was this instance in that situation.
MP, I'm gonna have to ask you to rap, because
I ask you not to rap too, boy. No, in fact, now me want to rap, and the next thing 50 Cent and them say Grenada do have proper rappers, them kind of thing. Folks, so you all heard it from the MP herself, where she's saying that projects are not being properly monitored. And she's claiming that is because the ministries are understaffed. They don't have enough of the technical people to go and monitor. Now you could understand why what happened in that road, that closure road, has taken place. And now you can understand why houses can be built under the Build Back Better, the Burial Relief Program, and those houses can be built terribly. As according to the Minister of Housing, those houses were a disaster. I tell her the Minister of Housing want to become an NNP, she just don't know how to leave them out. She don't know how to ripe green skin. Yeah? Sister Thomas, no, not the other one, not number 10. We know you want to become an NNP, just watch. Come and talk to your boy, talk to me. Yeah, if you're afraid to talk to anybody, watch. Check Sister Skeeter. Sister Skeeter is a nice lady. Talk to her first. We go organize. You come speak to Sister Emlyn and thing. We know you want to come over here, but you're finding it hard. Come. Don't worry, yeah, the house open, man. You could come. All right, nice. I find you're a nice lady, You come. Yeah, right. But no, we're hearing here from this MP, and I mean it's the abject amount of lies and deflection in relation to nearly everything. Every minute is a deflection in relation to something or the other. And let me just, as I said, I'm going a little past 10 o'clock. I'm going to go up until about 15 to 20 past, because I'm going to go into Sargassum one now. Yeah? And let me just play what the MP had to say when asked the question about the Sargassum, because she was on radio for over an hour on Sunday. Carriacou full of Sargassum. West Coast of Sargassum, Grenada Beach. And she mentioned not a word about the Sargassum issue. Let's hear what she had to say on Wednesday in relation to the issue of the Sargassum. Yeah?
Organizations and companies that came to Grenada, we have a vast majority of different techniques, different equipment that can help us harvest the seaweed on two options, either onshore or offshore, before it gets to our shorelines. And I think that has been the problem that we've been dealing with for quite a while now, in terms of those parishes, those communities on the eastern coast of the island, the Subis and the likes. When it gets on land is when the issue arises. Sargassum in water, it doesn't carry the same stench as when it is just on the sand or on the seashore. So we're in the process now. My advisor to climate change and to me for those types of conversations are ongoing now. We're doing the works to see how best we can put together a project proposal that can see us not only having government contribute financially to that, but to see how best we can access grant financing for attracting or harvesting the sargassum seaweed to deal with the seasonal influx of it happening, while we also work on a long-term strategy in terms of getting economic value out of sargassum. So that is what is happening currently. Yes, the plan exists, or the plan is for the whole of country. We have seen sargassum being an issue before. It never used to be an issue on the southern part of our island, and certainly when it did occur in the past, it was not in the amount as we've seen it over the weekend and over the last few months. We've also seen something that is happening very new, novel to us here on the west coast as well. There has been a significant influx of that too. Earlier on in May. So we are seeing now that perhaps maybe I'm not, an expert in the field, so I can't say what is contributing to it going to other parts of the island, but we know the wind patterns, we know based on how things are changing now in terms of the seasons and the cycles, the climatic cycles, that can be a contributing factor to why we're seeing it on other parts that we're not accustomed.
Yes, so we have her speaking about that part of the sargassum. Let's see her continue, man.
Given
Talk
enough
about
lead
sargassum.
time to say, but let me attack this before coming to show and so forth. Was enough lead time given to your ministry in regards to that?
Well, I don't know who would give the lead time because the sargassum.
Well, I say lead time. I mean, in terms of, there have to be some notification of it approaching to some point.
Well, it's not like if you can get that, because sometimes you can clean the area today, and by the time you wake up in the morning, there is.
Again, that is not the question the man is asking. On Sunday morning, folks who were utilizing the Grandans Beach early in the morning saw the sargassum out to sea, heading onshore. The simple question was, did your ministry have enough time so that they can deploy the nets and so that you claim you have to go and capture the sargassum out there before it covered the beach, and then you had to go about talking about digging up sand to take up the sargassum and all of that? That you could have caught it out there, blocked it from coming into the beach? That's a simple question.
As if you never cleaned there before, and that's the beauty or the uncertainty of the sargassum seaweed. Sometimes you might see it far offshore, but the question is the team adequately prepared or adequately equipped to harvesting offshore? At the moment, no.
At the moment, no, none. You that tell us the other day that all you go in and catch the thing outside. What do you mean the team not properly equipped to be able to capture the sargassum out at sea? Karen James, is that you?
To harvesting offshore. At the moment, no. We do have some boats that were donated to us that can assist with the cleanup, but it's not as far as offshore as we would like for it to happen. So, the Solid Waste Management Authority has been quite strategic in terms of how we deal with it. It is not something that we can, because you don't know, you simply don't know what direction it's going to take. There are zones as well too that
solid waste is only for the disposal, not for blocking it from coming in and so on. Solid waste is for when it's collected to dispose it. The minister is deflecting. But again, she said that they do have the equipment, isn't it?
So, but the question is the team adequately prepared or adequately equipped to harvesting offshore? At the moment, no. The sargassum seaweed, sometimes you might see it far offshore, but the question is the team adequately prepared or adequately equipped to harvesting offshore? At the moment, no. We do have some boats that were donated to us that can assist with the cleanup, but it's not as far as offshore as we would like for it to happen. So, the Solid Waste Management Authority has been quite strategic in terms of how we deal with it. It is not something that we can, because you don't know, you simply don't know what direction it's going to take. There are zones as well too that we cannot issue some of the equipment that we have now because of the nets. It can destroy habitat, it can cause destruction to underwater, what's happening on
So now you have nets, but you can't use the nets because you could destroy coral reef and all of that. Okay, all right.
the water with our corals and stuff. So there's a lot of environmental things that we have to consider when dealing with it. And because it is so uncertain, I don't think it's fair to them to say that maybe enough time could have been given, or at least an early warning could be given to them to dealing with it.
Folks, remember the boats are less than 15 minutes away from where the thing came to shore. Eh?
And that is what the conference really has also got us to realizing that at some point in time where there is still a loophole, or there's still an opportunity for us to design early warning systems that can help us to predict the patterns of sargassum, where it's going to hit, and how we can best attract it, taking into consideration all of what is happening underwater that we can't see with our naked eyes as it relates to our species habitat.
Okay, you didn't mention equipment. Is there adequate equipment on island to deal with the sargassum situation that we are experiencing at this day? Is there adequate equipment?
What's how she biting she lip, trying to hold back from talking? Bite your lip, girl. Bite your lip. Bite it hard.
You spoke of the boats, you spoke of the nets and so forth. Yeah. Is there adequate equipment to deal with the
No, there's not adequate equipment, no. It is something that is constantly evolving with the technology improving.
Did you just say there's not adequate equipment? We heard you earlier, but you're repeating that statement?
As it relates to our species habitat.
Okay, you didn't mention equipment. Is there adequate equipment on island to deal with the sargassum situation that we are experiencing at this day? Is there adequate equipment? You spoke of the boats, you spoke of the nets and so forth. Yeah. Is there adequate equipment to deal with the sargassum?
No, there's not adequate equipment, no. It is something that is constantly evolving with the technology improving. How companies either design from scratch or use other perhaps traditional equipment to dealing with other phenomena from the marine space has been used to dealing with sargassum. But as we see how the technology is improving, there would never be enough, and certainly for us in Grenada, because there has never been a strategic approach towards dealing with it, even except from having persons come to the beach. I've seen some instances in the past whereby we use tractors to take it out on our shoreline. That too is a deadly example of how to dealing with it when it gets on shore. You don't want to be seen dredging or dragging, taking out sand from the beach to dealing with an issue and creating another issue on the bagging. So no, the answer is no. There is not enough equipment, not enough technology deployed currently on island, and that is why we are doing a two-phased approach.
Okay, not in. All right, people getting fed up with me and they're cussing me now because I keep playing the minister. All you have to excuse me because I had to play that because at the town hall earlier this year, this is what we hear her saying, no?
Area as well that we have been vigorously targeting both at interim and long-term planning is the sargassum management. Grenada continues to lead regional efforts and international.
No, without enough equipment and things, we've been leading international efforts. Oh, okay, this was just this year, right? This wasn't last year. This was this year. This was about what, February, March, somewhere there. Yeah.
Efforts as well in addressing the environmental and economic challenges posed by sargassum influxes. So in response to the influx, ladies and gentlemen, we've been experiencing that over, and it's a seasonal thing. So over the Easter holidays, you might have seen videos, you might have seen images as well, showing that, the influx started on the eastern side, and now it is in a large volume on the southern zone. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen it, and maybe some of you might have seen it as well too on your way here, on the west side, Palmis, don't talk for the Lands Bay. So as an immediate relief, ladies and gentlemen, we have implemented our 2025 operational response plan. This is the local plan now, where we have hired 32 temporary workers, and we have deployed the Coast Guard's assets to manage the seaweed collection effectively in the Maki and Sobeys area as of March 1st, 2025. Priority has been given so far on that side to residential areas. The materials collected are taken to Telescope. In collaboration with the GTA, we are responding to the influx of sargassum on the west coast. And so we have the Yahama boats at the Coast Guard base, and we are mobilizing, and we intend to launch and deploy the floating fence that we have and to collect the sargassum in water.
Oh, but you just say that all you can't collect it in water because all you go damage the okay, right. I think I'm losing brain cells listening to her.
Boats at the Coast Guard base, and we are mobilizing, and we intend to launch and deploy the floating fence that we have and to collect the sargassum in water using trawl nets. The materials will be landed at the Grand Mall jetty, and it will be taken to Perseverance landfill. Priority is given to the commercial areas as well. The trawl nets will be used to collect sargassum in water on the west coast from tomorrow.
Let me just report to you all that never happened there, and this was back in March, or when it didn't happen. She lied.
And we are going to be landing at the Guave jetty.
That also never happened. Ask Guave people.
And it will be taken to Perseverance. The boats will be returned to the Coast Guard base at the end of each working day as a matter of security. So in the interim, we are dealing with it at the local level. Obviously, you cannot really, there's no means of predicting it really where it would go, because the tidal, the wave and all kind of thing, we just can't predict where you're gonna go. But we are trying our utmost to deal with it. So minus the noise and just focus on their...
For the noise. So the residents of areas like Sobeys and Maki, who have to deal with the sulfurous, odorous wind that blows through their homes, going all the way up the hill, and so don't bother with the noise from them. Don't bother with the noise from the people in Telescope who have to deal with the fumes when you put it there. Don't bother with the fishermen who are negatively impacted, the beachgoers who are negatively impacted. Don't bother with the noise from all of them. Just listen to you. Don't bother with anybody else.
Is interim steps that we are taking, and these are the few steps that we are taking.
All you notice in all of these town hall, they have about 5 or 6 busload of people that they bring into all of them. If you watch at these things, for instance, this individual here, you're seeing them in nearly every single town hall around the island, along with several others I could point out there that you're seeing at every town hall around the island. But that's another story for another show. Let's finish off here.
Taking thus far. At a more long-term and economically viable industry, and with support from the European Union, our task force that has been formed.
You know what? Yeah, I think we're done with her for tonight. I can't take on more. I don't know if Ollie could take on more. I can't take on. Seriously, I can't listen more of her tonight. Don't do me that. I can't listen more of her tonight. Remember during the election campaign, not just her, it had others. During the election campaign was telling us about this sargassum issue.
To regulate that problem. Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. And any ABC environmentalist would have told you that that was not sound. So they started to take out all of the sand, and then the water started to come right up to the road. And then because that didn't work, nothing else was done. But hear me, an NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company based out of Martinique that specializes in capturing the seaweed, the sargassum, collecting. Well, they could do it if they want. The people who benefit elect to get it done before elections. Yeah? So capturing it and washing, but not only that, we're going to bring it ashore and we are going to do research on it and make products with it in other territories in the region.
But folks, this is not last week or yesterday or so. This was before the election. So they had the company in Martinique that was supposed to give them the equipment to collect. They were already in contact with them to collect and all of that. Watch, I think I'm done with them and that tonight. Folks, we're dealing with a group of people here who are good at several things. One is lying. Two is casting blame on anybody else except themselves. None of these individuals, you look at that cabinet and tell me an instance where anybody in that cabinet, from captain to crook, not cook, from captain to crook, name one person in that cabinet that has ever taken blame for anything negative that has gone on in their either constituency or a ministry in which they are in charge of. Name one. Name one minister that has ever taken responsibility and said, hey, this happened, I'm the minister, I'm responsible. I take full responsibility and then move on. This is the way that we'll address that issue or that problem. None of them. So now it gets to the stage now where ministers are blaming other ministers when things are going wrong. So we see Karine several instances there throwing the whole blame for things on infrastructure. And the infrastructure minister is the prime minister. But the problem there is that we know, and he knows, and she knows that he's incompetent as the minister. The problem he has is that his entire cabinet is also incompetent. So he has nobody he could look at in his cabinet and say, hey, let me focus on being prime minister. You hold on to the Ministry of Infrastructure and Works. He has nobody that he can point out to and say, let me turn it over to that person. The whole bunch of them incompetent. So you have the Minister of Finance throwing it on Ministry of Infrastructure and MIT and Housing in relation to what has been taking place with the houses that have been built or not built and money is paid, and those that have been built and were not built properly. You have the Minister of Housing throwing it on MIT. Then you have the Prime Minister basically throwing it back on two of them. So you have all this back and forth. Nobody standing up as a man or a woman and taking blame. And then they want to be upset when people call them infantile. When people say they're operating like little children. But that is exactly what's going on. And Monday, we'll be revisiting some of what we spoke about tonight. Indeed, folks, it has been a pleasure. I'm sorry for upsetting some of you. I know some of you can't sleep for another 2 hours, 3 hours still. I'm sorry for upsetting some of you tonight. But before I go, I just want to make sure that I remind you all, because some of you, next thing you have a little change and you're running to go and do the school shopping tomorrow. Let me save all you some money. Just remember where to go. Go by K&R Bookstore. They have the back to school. That is buy one, get one free. So if you have 2 children, you're basically shopping for 1 and you're getting for 2. You have 4 children, you're shopping for 2 of them and you're getting for all 4. So use the opportunity and shop smartly. All right? Nice. They're located on H.A. Blaze Street. That's over by where Bailey's Funeral Home there. You know, they built a structure that has an entrance on the H.A. Blaze Street side. Nice. So you're going inside there, you're looking for K&R Bookstore. Remember, you're getting the buy one, get one free on all school supplies. So you're outfitting 2 sets of children by buying for 1 set of children. I don't think anybody else have a deal like that going on. Make sure and check them out. What you want these days, I have to start charging for them thing, you know. I really have to start charging for that. Northwest Brigade Calypso Tent, they're on tomorrow night, starting from 8 p.m. at the Mount Moritz Community Center. And that starts from 8 p.m. tomorrow night. $15 is the price to enter. Fupi, Miss Coco, Sergeant Folks, Baraka, Topper, Valine, Reporter, Bongo Blair, Young Song, Jai Angel, Shortman, and Satiris. Backed by the Caress Band, that's at the Mount Morris Community Center tomorrow night. The Northwest Brigade Calypso Tent, the St. David's branch of the New National Party. Remember, next week, Friday, they have that barbecue. Make sure that you head on down there and make sure you leave a piece of chicken there for the Rasta man. Well, they can tell them barbecue, a piece of breadfruit and thing for me. I won't get that. All right, folks, we don't have enough time for me to go into the rest for tonight. But, you know, yeah, we know is get the TV up and thing. We will deal with all of that on Monday. Folks, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's been wonderful being here and wonderful, as usual, being online with you all. Now, earlier, I paid tunes to the revolution. I had to play one for the Garyites before I leave. So I am heading out of here. It's been wonderful being here with you. It's been a wonderful week this week. Love each and every one of you and look forward to interacting with you all once again very soon. So let me play a tune for the Garyites and them, because next thing they say, oh, are you playing revolutionary? Nah, I'm playing for everybody. Oh, yeah, and you know what happened there? I go and, I take out the volume on the thing there. Boy, I didn't get a chance to take calls, no. We, papa, no, but we had to deal with them thing there. Nice? Good.
The star shines brightly in the sky. We'll never let it down.
We shall never let a party fall, for we love it the best of all. We don't have to fight to show our might, 'cause when we start, we will fight, fight, fight. With peace and love, you'll hear us sing. God save a party, God save the place. At the ending of the day, victory for all. We'll never let a party fall.
The star shines brightly in the sky. We'll never let it down.
We shall never let a party fall, for we love it the best of all. We don't